Well, would you look at that? It's another TwoSun on my table. Neat. Well, how about if we take a look at it? This is the TS132. Something interesting about this one? Um, it doesn't have a designer associated with it. So this is a TwoSun original design. And I gotta say, it's a pretty darn good one. You see, it's got some nice micarta. This they call it linen. I call it burlap. Micarta, just because of the kind of open weave compared to what I'm used to with a lot of other micartas. But yeah, this guy is a large wharn-foot. If I don't necessarily know if that's any better. Yeah, but yeah, so this guy is quite a large knife. It's not gigantic. It's just slightly over 3.5 inches. There's the 3.5 inch mark. It's a little over, and it would probably go. So probably like somewhere around 3.6 inches. So yeah, pretty large. This one's, obviously one of their older ones, so it's in D2. Makes enough sense. Yep, we got a nice liner lock here. No scallop out of it or anything, but very nice chamfer on the edge. No sharp points or anything, and very, very easy to get access to close that. As far as the flipper tab goes, the detent on it is quite strong, which, hey, that works, and you can easily spidey flick or use a thumb roll to open this guy up. All three of those work perfectly fine with it, which is quite fantastic. With how strong the detent is on this, if you were to try to open it with like a thumb stud kind of thing, it would be way, way too strong. Alright, so the thing that does kind of bother me a little bit about this one is the clip. It uses their original style clip, which I really am not a fan of these, as you know, and probably quite a few other people are in that kind of same camp. I just kind of pulled this out for reference. I actually don't even keep it on this one. This one, I could easily keep it in a belt pouch if I really wanted to do something like that. But yeah, just because of that clip, it hasn't really gotten a whole lot of pocket time. This one doesn't exactly have the worst as far as hot spots go, but it still does have that kind of pointy bit that's just uncomfortable on almost all of them. So yeah, we kind of got fuller, for lack of a better word, kind of going on both sides there. Really nice to index. Let's actually try that again. There we go. Really nice to have your fingers index so they know exactly what's going on. It'll work on both of them. Feel that with my middle finger, so I know exactly where the blade handle's pointing, even if I'm not looking at it. And we have, it's kind of contoured on both the top and bottom. We also have a finger choil, and because the blade actually is sharpened quite a bit further up than a lot of others, works pretty well as a finger choil, even for kind of larger fingers. I wouldn't do it if you have kind of large hands like mine and use a glove, because you're just going to end up ruining the glove. But, it's there for the people who do that. As always, I tend to choke up on knives a little bit more pinch grip style because I have a lot more lateral control over it. Same reason why I don't use, chef's knives or anything like that. I use the pinch grip because you have a lot more lateral control. All right. So, I got the length out of the way here. How about if we go for the rest of it? And yeah, this guy's a bit of a chunker. Let's get my little weight out here. If I remember right, this guy is over 5 ounces. Kerchunk, yeah. 115 ounces or 145 grams. So, very, very much not a featherweight. And a good portion of that comes down to the fact that we have basically 3.9 Yeah, right around 3.9 millimeters for the blade stock thickness on this guy. And that's also not a full flat grind. It's kind of a saber grind. It does come down to a very, very nice edge, but yeah, it's not a full flat grind. So it's got a quite a bit of meat kind of going on behind here. And let's see, how thick is this guy here? Basically 0.68 of an inch. So yeah, not exactly super thin either. This is a hard working son of a gun, though. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, boy. This man, this is really comfortable. I really like the jimping right there. It's right where my thumb would want to be. You can try to with smaller hands you can mash it up before this beak here, but for me, I do rest my pinky on the butt end there. That works perfectly fine. The only thing that might make that a little uncomfortable is if you were trying to stab with a pinch grip, but that's kind of a bad idea anyway. You generally want to do that with a saber grip, kind of like this, with your thumb on the top. A hammer grip is usually like this, just make a fist around it, like you're banging with a hammer kind of thing. But yeah, we also have a nice jimping kind of going on the backside. So if you did want to do that reverse hammer grip or reverse saber or whatnot, then it'll work quite well for you. The other thing I do kind of want to point out here on the top is, well, the backspacer is G10. It's not Micarta. I haven't seen any TwoSuns who actually do have a Micarta backspacer. I mean, G10's a little bit more durable, so I perfectly understand it. What's nice about it is it reaches far up top. Now, this one doesn't seem like it would have the issue of being able to touch the blade down in there, but it's still nice and protected. So, I do like that as far as protecting the blade goes. But, because of that, it's a little bit easier to get dirt and crud and whatnot all up in there. And just a little bit more difficult to clean out. This one actually has a wide enough channel you could just zip a Q-tip through there. Oh, I even happen to have one just sitting around right here. Yep, totally fits in there perfectly. So this guy is actually quite easy to clean out if you needed to do so. The detent ball on this guy is just hidden by this kind of little lump here, so you can kind of see it. He's peeking out. But yeah, makes that very clean to deal with, all that sort of stuff. So, all right, we can go ahead and take a look on the inside of this guy because, well, I enjoy doing that. Just depends on. Here's my T8 screwdriver. All right, so yeah, I'll go ahead and take the pivot out first. As with pretty much everything TwoSun. This is T8 hardware all around. It does have a bit more backspacer hardware than a lot of other designs do. And I'm kind of indifferent on it, but just the way that it's attached and everything, it's quite nice. But yeah, we got some kind of boring micarta on the other side. It's a little kind of staining here that was actually from the oil that was shipped with this stuff. But yeah, all right. Let go, buddy. All right, you have let go, at least mostly. Haha. There we go. So yeah, we got the liner side here. A little bit of a marring kind of going on the liner lock there. It came that way, and it hasn't really changed or anything like that. And it's completely smoothed off, so it's not really affecting anything. But yeah. And yeah, we got ceramic bearing for that, as well as the ceramic bearings that fit into the blade on both sides there. You can see the liner on this side is very, very much skeletonized. Here, if I actually remove the G10 back spacer. And yeah, it's about as skeletonized as it's going to get. Because, yeah, pretty much any more than that, it might actually affect structural stability or anything like that. But yeah, what I also do like about the G10 is that we have a pin on both sides as well as those 3 spacers there. So it's very, very sturdy. And, you know, I really do appreciate that for kind of a harder use kind of knife there. And the blade stop pin on this guy, whoa! It's quite chunky. Let's see, I can probably get that in millimeters. Not fractions, you punk. So yeah, basically kind of like the blade stock thickness there. So we had like pretty close to 4 millimeter there. Which is pretty beefy for a blade stop pin. We don't have a D-shaped pivot going on either side of this, and that's, you know, it's fine. I haven't run into any problems assembling or disassembling this guy, so I'm perfectly fine with that as long as I don't run into issues. Because it does have those pins, it does kind of snap a little bit more in place rather than just simply place it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this guy back in together. One of these days, I would really, really like to find kind of an alternative or you know, a modification of these older TwoSun clips, just to make them a little bit more comfortable. I mean, the folded over or, you know, deep carry style pocket clips that they got going on now on all their models are, you know, they're certainly a step up. And the bespoke titanium milled pocket clips are perfectly fine as well. But these guys, yeah, they just leave a little bit to be desired. But, you know, still absolutely wonderful construction on this guy. Very much a harder use kind of knife. But, yeah, with that blade stock and everything like that, yeah, nice wiggle shut without a problem. Yeah, it's one of very few that I've seen that TwoSun doesn't really have another designer associated with. I think they did have another one rather recently, which was a fixed blade. I don't read Chinese, but it looks like there's either a maker's mark or something like that that's written on that fixed blade. But I'm unfamiliar with it and can't seem to get a translation out of it. So yeah, as far as I know, that one's TwoSun bespoke design, as well as that weird kukri that I showed a long time ago in 420J2 steel. But yeah, they really did a good job on this one. You know, as always, I do harp on them for their standard micarta, and this one's no different. But they at least have done a decent enough job with getting a lot of nice contours and lines and everything like that. Very, very comfortable. And yeah, as I was saying, the grind on this thing does actually come down to very, very, very thin behind the edge. So, you know, it can do some powerful cuts. But, you know, it's also pretty darn slicey. You know, because it does kind of have this saber grind here. It can bind up just a little bit more than others if you're doing long cuts into cardboard. But yeah, I mean, if you're just kind of breaking down some boxes or whatever, you're probably not going to run into any of that. So yeah, fantastic little knife. Little's probably not the word for it. little chunky boy. That's what I'm going to go with. It's not a heckin' chunker. It's not a gigantic knife. It's not like a Hender XM24 or anything kind of crazy overbuilt like that, Medford Praetorian or anything. But still, for a a little bit more EDC sort of thing, it's very capable and very well built. So all right, that's the TS132. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching, especially if you made it this far. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.